Oh, I was just asking for your name real quick. And if you
Okay,
could spell
Ariel
it.
Atias.
Okay, and how do you spell that?
Ariel Atias.
Okay, so it's been a year since.
I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna answer questions that I'm feeling uncomfortable with.
That's perfectly fine.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So obviously it's been a year since the horrible events on October 7th. Still over 100 hostages in Gaza. What are your feelings like today?
Um, that's that's ironic, like I said, that the Memorial Day a year later and it's still going on for both sides. I think should have been done way earlier. Should have we should have made it way clear and like clear cuts. Unfortunately, it's still going on for both sides.
Yeah. Obviously, as an Israeli, how do you feel Netanyahu has been prosecuting the war?
Um, like I said, I'm disagreeing. I disagree with him about many things. He's not my like. I never voted for him. How I'm feeling about that? I feel like again we should have done it a little differently. Probably a little harder from the beginning and make it clear cut earlier because I think we're pushing it a little too much.
What do you mean by that? You're pushing it too much now?
No, like it lasts too long.
It's last, yeah.
I think we should have done what we're doing right now in the north way earlier. I think we should have gone like all places and like making sure Gaza is clear because it's not clear yet, but making sure Gaza is clear way earlier and making things much quicker.
Yeah. Are you disappointed in him? Because it's been widely reported that there was evidence over a year ahead of time, intelligence that Hamas was planning this attack, and then he moved soldiers from the Gazan border over into the West Bank with the settlements.
Like I said, I never voted for him. Never voted for most of his government, but it was what it was in the past, and right now, I mean, I'm not the judge, and I'm not gonna evaluate his things again. I'm probably never gonna vote to him because of different things. Yes, we could have prevented, but you're always smarter after it happens.
Yeah. Foresight is hindsight. Excuse me. Hindsight is 2020.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's always like that.
So, do you support a ceasefire agreement?
In one term, I support ceasefire agreement if and only if Israelis could go back to their places safely and could live there safely with no harm, but not only harm, with no without any fear that October 7th will happen again down south or up north. That's the first thing that we have to make sure when ceasefire is going to happen.
Do you think Netanyahu has been blocking legitimate attempts to get a ceasefire?
I don't think the setting is ready for ceasefire because people in the north can go back to their places now. Or last week, or last month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nasrallah, back when he was alive, he's dead now. He did say that. I mean, that if a ceasefire was reached, that Hezbollah would stop bombing, and they did stop bombing during that very short pause that happened in November. And then I guess the reason I ask is because 95% of all the hostages that have been returned alive were through a ceasefire negotiated agreement, and only 5% have been returned via military.
Yes, I don't say again. And we're talking about two different spaces right now. We're talking north and we're talking south.
Yeah, but Hezbollah says they're doing this for Gaza. That's what they said. But, and they did follow ceasefire
but
back
it's a
in
big
November.
thing. But it's a big thing because it's two different things. I believe that Hezbollah up north has nothing to do with down south, because up north right now, when we are there now, soldiers found plans, like very detailed plans, to do October 7th up north way worse. So what we're doing now is preventing October 7th from happening in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So right now, we have to make sure that October 7th is not going to happen again in next year, or 5 or 10 or ever. And until, like I said, until we're not gonna reach that limit, ceasefire is not gonna happen. And I don't think it should happen until everybody can live wherever in Israel on the border with feeling the fear of somebody's gonna come inside and rape them and butcher them.
What do you think about the last I checked it was 500,000 Israelis that have been protesting across Israel, again trying to push for that ceasefire agreement? Do you know anybody who's been in those protests?
A lot.
Yeah, and what do you think about those protests? Because they're saying agree to whatever is on the table now so that you can get those 100 people back. I mean, some of them are calling for a long-term end of the war. Others are just like, get them back and then go do what you have to do. Have you been a part of the protests at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. I think there are many different ways to protest, and I do what I'm doing in my own way. I think the hostages should be back as soon as possible, with less harm as possible, as least harm as possible. The only problem with that is.
With what specifically? I just want to make sure.
The only problem with ceasefire with hostages that Sinwar doesn't really want ceasefire now, because he sees that his dream of war from all around is coming true. So it's hard for me to believe that he wants something, because the negotiation is not going back and forth, and is Netanyahu agreed to Biden's protocol, Biden's plan. He agreed to that.
And then he came back and said, "I want the Philadelphia corridor."
He agreed to that. He agreed to that a couple months ago, and then they turned them down. So,
are you worried that Israel is becoming a pariah state?
A what?
A pariah state internationally.
Which is
So a pariah state is trying to basically like nobody wants anything to do with that. That's what a pariah state means. Do you have the exact definition of what a pariah?
I got that.
Okay,
I got that.
All right, I apologize.
No, I'm not worried about that because that's not happening.
Okay.
So that's it. I'm not worried about that because it's not happening.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
Like I said, we'll dance again, and people are gonna be back to safe to their places. And until then, the war will go on. Unfortunately. Because again, people want to hurt Israel and hurt Jews all around the world, not only in Israel, just for them being Israelis and Jewish.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think actually I interviewed you last year.
Yes.
Yes,
you did.
It's good to see you. I'm glad you're still doing okay.
I'm doing great.
How is? Actually, I forgot to ask one question. Have you experienced? Maybe I did. Have you experienced anti-Semitism on campus?
Yeah.
Can you give me some examples?
I've experienced anti-Semitism from people that are uneducated and they don't know. First off, they don't know where is Israel
On the map, they don't know what led to Israel to be established, and they don't know Judaism. They don't know anything about the whole process of. I mean, they know right now what's happening with the conflict. They don't know what led in the last 100, 200, 2,000 years. And basically, more or less hate speech. And
that's been directed towards you, or just that you?
No, towards me.
Okay, can you describe some of those experiences, if you're willing to?
Walking on campus with Star of David on my shirt, or this shirt, the Israel shirt.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
And calling me names and yelling at me and blocking my ways. And the camp we had here, the end of last year.
I covered it.
Yes, I mean, I went there just to see what's going on, and then they saw me, and my face is very connected with the Jewish community around here, but I'm not scared. And they started throwing names to me and calling me things and blocking my way and literally chasing me or whatever. But again,
they were chasing you and.
No, not chasing me, running after me, but going after me and trying to blame me for whatever happening or whatever. But
Did you, when you went up to them, did you attempt to engage them, or were you just watching and they
I mean, I
saw
was
you?
watching from the side. I was watching from the side and like just recording that and sending that to our community.
Okay, so do you have that recording of them doing that to you?
No, I mean, again, I was recording from the side, looking
Uh-huh.
from the side, like from like about like 100 feet. Just send my community and say like, hey, whatever, and then like they saw me recording and then they came. I mean, I didn't record that. I mean, it's not. Again, I don't really care because I'm doing what I'm doing because I believe in that.
Uh-huh.
I don't scared of what I'm doing, and like I said, I'm doing what I'm doing because I believe in that, not because I'm scared of anything.
Yeah.
So I don't care about people calling me things, blaming me for doing something. I believe in myself. I believe in what we're doing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is finally the end of the interview. Thank you very
All good.
much.
Thanks.